Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them.
Not your life.
No.
All of them.
Today we have got with us Jen.
Hi.
B.
Hello.
Jeff.
What's up?
Outsy.
Hello.
And Quentin.
Hello.
I see that too, but I might not be able to walk afterwards.
I can't do it as well as Dave. I don't have the ball, so.
You don't have the balls for it.
No, I don't.
Literally.
You bounce into the big bounce.
What the fuck?
You know, every time you do that, Dave, you remind me of that episode of South Park. And I've got to ask, have you been shoving your testicles in the microwave?
No. Microwave's not big enough. Microwave is nowhere near big enough for my testicles.
I'm always expecting to go off just totally off the camera one day. It'd be like that old crazy frog thing. Diddling, 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 diddling.
Yeah, exactly.
Over the top of the computer.
Oh my god.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Good morning, everybody.
Already great start, guys. Good morning.
Does anyone have any new videos out?
No. And does.
Does she?
No,
She does?
Aw,
I guess-
Dave.
I got somebody new coming on Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I got.
Who you
I
got?
have. I don't know if you guys saw her on Daily Atheist or not. I have Cynthia McDonald coming on
Who's
Sunday
that?
Oh,
afternoon.
nice.
So we can... Yeah, I just really loved her, so I reached out to her, and so she's gonna come on. We're gonna discuss these whole, the obviously the protests and stuff, but what it does mentally to people that have to live that crap day to day. So I wanted a good perspective on it. She seemed very, she's very intelligent, well spoken. So
So we're not going to fit in at all.
Oh, so you're saying none of us are intelligent or well-spoken?
Well, it's not that. Just none of you are of color.
No, but
Oh,
Dave
okay.
Trying to
Well,
get
I'm an
a
extreme
perspective that none of us know.
I'm an extreme amount of white. Does that count as a color?
Yes.
I have this feeling that you're not white, that
no,
you go
no.
bright red like that.
It's funny you say that, Quentin, because I always say I'm not white. I'm kind of peachy flesh colored.
See,
So-
I'm not white. I'm like eggshell. That's what I am. Because I am very
I'm pretty
albino.
white.
With the sheen?
Oh, definitely.
I was born in Scotland, so my natural colour's kind of like a pale blue. So it's taken me years of sunbathing to get it to this colour.
Oh, so that's not a t-shirt.
No, he's topless!
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys.
Right.
Anyway,
First question.
moving on.
Question 701.
Oh.
Which YouTube channel that you follow would you consider a guilty pleasure?
Oh. Just gonna make me say my shit out loud. Ugh.
Hence why I restricted it to YouTube.
I think before we went on.
You, Dave.
I don't.
Me.
I don't know. I don't know why I call it a guilty pleasure, but I think like what we were talking about like before we went on there, that occasionally I will sit there and watch Flat Earth debates, and I don't know why. I just don't know what the fuck.
Because you're a sadist?
Yeah. Well, no, it's masochist, isn't it?
That's
Do it
right.
to yourself.
Right,
Yep.
Um,
Masochism. I guess mine would be Jesus is Lord.
Oh!
Oh!
Because like I don't know what it is, but I go into it thinking he can't say any dumber shit than he's already said, and then my expectations get blown through the roof. So yeah, Jesus.
Oh, there's a few. There's a few like that. There's a few like that.
Yeah.
I know.
I think my guilty pleasure's got to be Lucy's. Natty says louder with Crowder. That's horrific. Nikki says watching Flurf dumpster fires on Fights and Teams channels. Yeah.
Yeah, I do admit I tend to generally watch Fighting Team. And those they are all dumpster fires. Those ones.
Sammy says Page Blast, an Aussie duo of cartoonists who draw comics on the fly with suggestions from the chat. Slash, what's r slash?
No idea.
No idea.
No,
I don't know.
Joan says very dull but food channels to see what I'm not able to eat. Manda.
That was good. Ooh, that looks good. Too bad I can't eat it.
Mandy,
What?
Mandy, you can say that you watch Paul and Morgan. We won't judge.
Oh God, no! Fuck that. I mean, probably Mr. Gigi because
What?
he's hilarious.
What's
I
Mr.
don't know,
Gigi?
he's just. I don't even know how to describe him. He just talk. He has this one show that he does where he plays beer pong with himself and gets really drunk and reads comments and shit. And he does a lot of Chris Hansen reviews and stuff, which I'm not that interested in. But he does some stupid movie reviews and stuff. Either that or Call Me Kevin, which is this Irish gamer that Angel and I watch. That he just plays games but very, very badly, and he's hilarious. Especially his Minecraft series and he does a Sims series where he is pretty much enslaved a bunch of Sims, and he has all these add-ons where he has the Sims become zombie coke dealers and shit. It's hilarious. So.
Seraphim says Blair White.
Oh,
Ant Jer says
Blair.
Ant Jer says Chuck the Groundhog. Big Zebra says Comics Explained. I fall asleep listening to it and I dream about the Green Lantern. Ant Jer says Nathan the Beach Cat. Natty says I like Blair White too. About to be a Blair White rebellion.
Oh God. Yeah.
Music collector says I check
you
music.
might as well listen to J.K. Rowling and watch Blair White.
There's another one I'd call a guilty pleasure that I sometimes watch.
Go on.
Ben Phillips, which is that Welsh YouTuber who just does what are very, very clearly staged pranks on his brother all the time. But I don't know why they're just kind of funny in a weird way as well, even though it's clearly staged.
Nerdy says, I guess I like watching people rage sometimes, whether they are right or wrong. So we need to be more angry to attract
Everybody
Nerdy.
likes dirty laundry.
Yes. Catnip says r/ is a channel that reacts to subreddits.
Oh God.
Did everyone else lose the stream? No.
I don't understand reaction chant period, let alone fucking. Anyway.
Sammy says, I
Reaction...
changed my answer to Soso, a Chinese beatboxer. Go on.
Oh no.
Quentin?
I was gonna say reaction channels are just people that are really lazy and can't think of their own content.
Yes. It's good, isn't it? It's an easy way to make content.
Exactly. I mean, shit, that's how I started off. Not gonna lie.
Do you have an answer? What's your guilty pleasure?
I'm gonna have to stick with my guns and say Jesus is Lord.
Jill. Yeah.
Yep.
I've got to say, some
That
of this
or
stuff,
Standing
though,
for
it's
Christ,
so crazy.
Because,
my blood pressure can only take so... Jill.
yep. Jill. Yeah, I've actually had interactions with Jill, and like, I I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but Jesus Christ, this guy has like, you know, I go in there thinking he can't say any more dumb shit than he already has, and then boom, just fucking blows me away with every time.
Never assume you know the amount of stupidity that Jill has. He's talked to my brother I don't know how many times. Him and Praise. I have trouble listening to Praise, honestly. Because he whined all the time.
Oh god, dude, same.
Oh my god. Sounds like a whiny 15-year-old girl on her period. It drives me nuts.
I think it's a natural law of YouTube that no matter how much of a dumb fuck you are, there's someone who's going to come along that's inevitably even more of a dumb fuck than you that you can go up the ladder without actually achieving anything. So it's just a natural law of the existence of YouTube.
Idiots.
Yeah,
Everyone groups together, including idiots. Yeah. Beth.
You know, honestly, I don't really watch any stupid. I'll go and watch those guys, Praise and Jill and stuff, because my brother's on there, and I'm trying to give him some love and support. And just because I know that whatever they say is going to be stupid and funny.
You don't think Richard does it just to subject you to it?
No. Most of the time, he doesn't even know I'm there. I'll see that he's on a stream, and I'll jump on there just to see what's going on and everything. And then later on, he'll see that I was in the chat because he's so into the conversation. He doesn't give a shit about the chat. He's trying to focus on what's going on. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch anything for BS. I mean, I used to watch.
You're allowed to say math pig.
I used to watch tractor trailer wrecks all the time.
Watch it, Dave.
Because the tractor trailer wrecks over like in Russia, and those people are crazy. They drive insane, and they wreck all the time, and it's crazy stuff like people barely living. So it's kind of interesting, but I haven't even watched that in probably a year or so.
Russian people.
I got real shit to do, Dave. I don't have time for that.
Well, it's like I said though. It's just I started really watching YouTube like probably like a lot about 3 years ago. Around that time, I sort of started getting on YouTube. Some of the stupid I saw back then is some of the people I just saw on YouTube I thought were really fucking dumb back then. I look at them now and think, compared to some of the fucking idiots there are on this platform now. I mean, I really thought at one time, you couldn't get any fucking more dense than G-Man. You know, really, I mean, he just seemed for ages like this is the gold standard of just pure stupidity. Yeah, then you realise there's so much out there that actually is fucking worse than G-Man.
If I'm being honest, I would rather watch G-Man than listen to fucking Jill drive on for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because like G-Man, he gets to the point. Jill's just, he fucking talks like Eeyore, and he will drag out a conversation.
You've got to wait for the fucking point. You've got to wait 10, 15 minutes for the
dude,
single point.
Legitly. I was in a live stream with him for 3 fucking hours, and he didn't get to the point until hour 2. And I'm high as shit, and even I can get to my point quickly. I'm like, fucking hell.
You maybe want to do it, G-Man and the Masters of Stupidity video now.
Well, I think there was a modern day debate a few weeks ago. You just know James was platforming a dumpster fire at them when you had Team Skeptic and Fight the Flat Earth on one side with G-Man and Nathan Thompson. And G-Man wasn't the most dumb person in the room. Nathan.
Jeff, honey, do you watch stuff that like purposefully have brain cells sucked out of your head?
I think so. It's some. But you got to remember that I've sometimes have a very very low self-esteem and low opinion of myself.
He feels superior when he watches these people.
People I can watch and have a sense of superiority.
You've also got to remember that Jeff used to be a particle physicist.
Jesus Christ, dude. That was exactly my answer when someone asked me why I watched Jill. I'm like, hey, look, I'm used to being the dumbest guy in the room, but now I got Jill.
You know, I am. Speaking of which, psychologically, I'm thoroughly convinced some people watch some of these channels because I'll go on, I'll see like, I don't know, someone posted a link somewhere and I go into it because I like that person. And there's all these intelligent people in the chat and the person on the screen's an idiot. And I'm like, you know, you guys are just here to make yourself like, oh no, my dick feels a little bigger today because I'm watching this guy and he's an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
See, I love it when I'm in Hangouts when I'm like the dumbest guy in the room because generally it's like I feel like sometimes I can learn something, you know.
Oh no, I do. Yeah, I like that. I'll go on the streams that I know that I'm the least intelligent there. I'm okay with it because I do.
Yeah, I am too. Like I join Jay's stream all the time just because I know I'm an idiot, but I can learn something.
Dave,
What?
Dave,
What?
answer the fucking question.
Natty says.
how many times do we have to do this?
Natty says. Onionson? Who's Onionson?
Oh
Onision.
God, no.
Anisian.
Oh,
Yeah,
mate.
let's not talk
not
about
even
Onion
that.
Boy.
Natty
How's
says
that?
Anisian hate videos.
Mind you, confession to make, I've done videos reacting to some of his shit in the past. I will confession time. I have done videos reacting to some of his shit in the past.
Who is he again?
You actually had to watch some of his shit then. Oh, I am so disappointed in you this morning, Jeff.
This is Manda. This is why I've been on like YouTube like 3 years, and you've already got more subscribers to me because I've wasted my time reacting to shit like that in the past. Okay.
You're not supposed to disappoint Amanda in the morning.
I was going to say that's the only reason he comes here, so he can be told he's disappointed.
Crazy.
Right.
Right.
I'm glad. I'm actually kind of weirdly kind of glad you said that to me and not to Math Pig, actually.
Right?
I don't know. I told them yesterday that one of them was going to be disappointed.
Oh, Mathig never disappoints. Trust me.
Oh no.
But surely that means that you're disappointing. Right. Next question.
Oh,
Moving on.
What? What?
Fucking
What?
answer.
Dave,
Did you answer,
answer.
Dave?
Artifaxian. No, I said Lucy.
Ah,
I
okay.
think that was it.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
it.
he did.
Next question. Hurry up, Dave.
My bad. Move on.
Question 702. Is Western society actually moving away from religion, or is it just moving to a more wishy-washy spirituality?
Oh, no.
I mean, I think the stats seem to imply we kind of are, but
We
Yeah,
are
the
which?
same.
What?
but then when we like the kind of wishy-washy, I'll often hear like I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual kind of, and I still don't quite know what that means. Really, it's like
It means I was indoctrinated into a religion.
it's like when people say, "I believe there's something." Well, what is that something? You know what? You know, it's I don't know. To me, it's just
It's
a
an I don't
meaningless
care, but
kind
they
of.
still want there to be something. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I just like there to be something
Oh, I
because
don't-
it's being all of it isn't enough for most people.
If it's probably less harmful if it is some sort of wishy-washy spirituality that doesn't have any dogma attached to it. It's probably less harmful, but.
Apart from the fact that it lets in more of the... If you look at the staunch Christians, a lot of the woo they don't get, the talking to the dead, the stuff that's really... I was going to say the stuff that's really exploitative, but they're not taking 10% of your fucking everything and dictating how you live your life. But
what I think though, like with that, I mean, you missed maybe where you were about to go with this, Dave. I apologise if I've stolen your thunder here, but when I noticed this, it's like when people are into the sort of spirituality type thing, they're going to be more prone to kind of woo though. That's the danger of it. And like, so, you know, buying into stuff
Crystals
like
and-
psychics and crystal healing, and this is one, and I have to stress this absolutely, that this is not the entire pagan community, and I must absolutely stress this. So if you remember, I was neo-pagan
Yes,
or whatever.
but there are plenty of within
And
the pagans
even-
that are very wooey.
Yeah, there are a lot of people in those communities who are into stuff like woo, and even when I was in that community, and funnily enough, one of the people who used to back me up a lot when I would have these arguments was a Wiccan high priestess herself. When I'd listen to people talk about like throwing out their, like someone in that community who was on antidepressants, they would tell them, "Oh, throw out your antidepressants or whatever, and you just use like spiritual healing kind of stuff." And I'm like, and I would just jump in there and say, "Do not fucking give advice like that when you're not fucking qualified to give that advice."
I think again, you've only got to look at the spread of homeopathy, which is basically woo trying to wrap itself up in medicine.
But
You know
there's
what's also
also
really-
that sort of woo.
Well,
Sorry.
look at how many subscribers that channel Spirit Science has got.
Oh,
Exactly. That was where I was going.
that's where you were going.
What's also really prominent is lately I've noticed is astrology as well. Like,
Yeah.
I've been reading Cosmo on and off since I was like fucking 14 years old.
Manda.
I've noticed lately that I think I'm too old for it anyway. But like they've got like 20 pages now every issue that's designated to fucking astrology, and it's like.
See, I was thinking of doing astrology stuff on my channel because you can just make shit
You
up.
sound, God
It
damn,
is.
Mandy, you sound like you must be a fucking Scorpio.
And no, it's all bullshit anyway. And it even,
Right.
the cover of the last one said something about, according to science, you will have this kind of year according to science, and then in parentheses, astrology science or whatever. It's just fucking like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you look a lot of things, I know people that buy into horoscopes and stuff, and it's you can read those ones in the newspaper. Now, the odds are, if you circulate in the national newspaper and there's a horoscope saying this, that, the odds are it's actually going to sort of somewhat apply to one person.
It applies to lots of people.
Yeah, and the fact this stuff is so cryptic in the first place. But
And this is the point.
I might take this opportunity to go out of a break or something. Because I'm starting to get into a bit of pain, and when it comes onto bloody pseudo-scientific woo, this is something I can go on a fucking rant about for hours. So I'm just going to go.
I'm going to catch up on the chat.
Minutes,
So
alright.
run. Yeah, run. Nerdy says, it's time for our daily disappointment, honey. I think that was at Banda. He says, it's moving away from the wishy-washy stuff just really slowly. See, I'm not convinced. Betsy says, wishy-washy. Nikki says, are we coming from the USA? Well. Aunt Jer says, either one is fine with me. How did you
When I
avoid a
was
question?
getting
Did I
my,
not ask you the last question?
When I was getting my astrophysics degree, I had a couple of family members that would tell people, not purposefully, that say that I was getting my degree in astrology, and it would drive me insane. So, yeah.
Astrology.
Yeah.
So can you do our stars?
That's funny.
Natty says, neither you're kidding yourselves if you think anyone is moving away from it. People are just in the closet now, which is creepy and weird. Jones says, more wishy-washy because the majority... Go on.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Sorry. Oh, I was going to say, I feel like that people have always had issues with religion, and people have always questioned. And there's been people, because take me for instance, I didn't believe any of it, and I was in the Catholic Church until I was like 17, because that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go to church with my mom, and I was supposed to do all the kneeling and standing and kneeling and standing and kneeling. Anyways, so I think people were years ago were afraid to come out of it because it was you were considered like a devil worshiper and evil if you weren't going to church. And now we have more knowledge these days. There's more knowledge because of the internet and stuff. People can grab a hold of easy.
Yeah, the problem is they're taking control of that.
Read. So I think that it's starting to come around more that it's okay to not go to church every freaking day, and it's okay not to say, "Oh, I believe it," when you really don't. So that's what I think it is. I think it's just times. The modern times are rolling over, and people are starting to admit that they don't believe what they said they were believing.
Yeah,
I kind of have to agree because, even growing up in my adopted family, I had to go to a Baptist church almost every Sunday, every Wednesday. If there was a fucking potluck, I had to go, and I hated it all. And my parents asked me, so why do you come with me? I'm like, simply because there's free food. I don't care about anything else. And when I turned 18, they're like, well, are you gonna keep going to church? Yeah, dude, you wouldn't believe some of these Baptist people can make some damn good mashed potatoes. But when I turned 18, they asked me, are you gonna keep going to church? I'm like, no, I don't plan on it at all.
I was gonna say, Quinty, you're not just going for the wafers, are you?
He's good cannibal.
He wants to drink the blood of Christ at least once a week.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so
only if you brew it right. Only if you brew it right.
there's a funny story. My buddies and I went to this thing called the First Church of Cannabis. And the only reason why we went was because we had heard that they smoked weed in the sermon, and we were very sorely disappointed to find out that they were anti-weed.
That's very
Why
disappointing.
the fuck did they call themselves that?
I have no idea.
They're teasers.
As soon as they
Did you actually
started
ask
talking.
to get the weed?
Oh no, okay, so we didn't go. We went in there all quiet, they had never seen us, so we all sat in the back, and we were my buddy was rolling up a joint because what we thought was the preacher was gonna come out, start smoking a joint or some shit, so we were gonna do it too. And then they started preaching about how Jesus hated weed. All of my friends got up, including myself. We walked straight out the door and didn't say a fucking word.
Should have gone to the second church of cannabis. They got a different teaching.
Yeah, the first church wasn't right. You should have sued them. This is false advertisement.
Well,
Every religion could be sued for false advertising.
I am technically ordained in the church, so technically speaking, so.
Yeah, dude,
There you go,
be...
Jeff. Open up your own church where everybody smokes pot. And I'm telling you, you'll be rich.
I don't know if anyone's tried that in the UK. I don't think it's going to fly somehow.
No.
It's not going to fly the same way.
Joan says, more wishy-washy because the majority of people want spirituality and ritual. Nerdy says summoning demons and that sort of thing. If we could summon demons, that'd be fucking awesome. It also proves a lot of things.
I think a lot of people stay in the church because it's a crutch. They want. Nice, Jeff. I think they need that.
That looks exactly like Kent Hovins.
Yeah, this is a better religion now. This is this document hereby affirms that Jeffrey has been ordained by the Church of the Latter-day Dude.
Dudism.
Yeah. Damn right.
Joan says education is going down, so not much chance to move away. Natty says for two very important reasons. It means they are closet radicals floating around, and we don't know what they're plotting and planning. I'm assuming that's the ones that are in the closet. Nerdy, I don't know where Nerdy's going. Ghosts, crystals, spells, alien abductions. Nerdy says Amanda. I know. Amanda is a Taurus now for sure. Natty says I'm a Scorpio. I eat baby. I think I'm way behind on the chat. The horoscope is why I call my friend my soulmate. Natty says I think none of it is really going away. It's just going into hiding, and that leaves society open to really scary, risky cults. Sammy says wishy-washy. Washy? What the fuck? I see astrology as on par with personal assessments, useful for entertainment. Right, I'm going to have to skip over the rest. Go on! Beth!
Anyways, I think that people need religion as a crutch because they're scared of dying, they're scared of whatever's going on, they're stressed out about their life, and they need that. They need something strong that is greater than them and everything what they perceive to be them and everything around them to lean on. So I think that a lot of
enables
people
people
stay in
to give
just
to
because of
handle
that.
responsibility.
Yes.
That
sorry,
is,
Jen.
like there were other people that. Oh,
Jen.
Religion enables people to handle responsibility. That's the thing. So you can you can take a load off yourself from your responsibility by handballing it onto this non-existent god. So it's a crutch.
Exactly.
It's a crutch that people get through life with. And good. If somebody needs that, that's fine, as long as they're not trying to impose that or their ideology on somebody else.
Yeah.
But they are, because that's part of the crutch in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
it's
I
just
agree
like
with you,
drugs or
Gabe, but not
alcohol.
all of them.
No.
It's just like drugs or alcohol for a large percent of, I believe, large percentage.
I mean, if you think
It's like
about
drugs
it,
and alcohol, they
is,
lean on it.
Go on,
Go ahead, Quentin.
alcohol is its own religion because if you drink too much, you're gonna be praying to the fucking toilet all night.
The porcelain gods.
Sorry.
Exactly. Sorry.
Amen.
But I mean, like,
Go ahead and suck on your
but
hiney
there's-
there, Jeff.
So, wait a
There's-
minute. Go on.
there's even spirituality that
Beth.
like some people believe in that like make their sport team do better or like
Yeah. Just
I've-
superstition.
Like, man, yeah, exactly. Like I think spirituality is more superstition than anything, in my opinion.
Yes,
Like I
it is.
literally, I lived in Vegas for a fucking year, and I worked at a casino. And some of the fucking rituals that I've seen people do before they play a slot machine, it was ridiculous. Like I saw somebody like licking their hand and rubbing their forehead, and then rubbing the fucking machine, and then they would put their money in. It was just some of the it was some of the most ridiculous shit.
As I've already disappointed Amanda enough today, I'm gonna have to make another confession here. But this was back when I was still practicing neo-pagan. I actually made an offering to Odin once to try and help Southampton win the League Cup final.
Great, Jeff.
Did it work? Did it work? Did it work?
It fucking well, they lost. So what do you think?
So you stop believing.
Yeah, I don't know that made me stop believing. It might
He
have
knew
been
he knew Southampton was a fucking push. It was a stretch at the best of times.
It made me think that Odin's a fucking Manchester United fan.
See, I have a buddy of mine who, and I'm not kidding, and this is the most disgusting thing I know this man has ever done. But so
I bet it's not.
every year in the NFL when the season starts, he has a certain pair of socks that he wears every Sunday and will not wash until the season is over. And he thinks that that's good. Yeah, I know. And he thinks that that's gonna make his team do better. And I'm like, dude. He came over one Sunday. I'm like, bro, look, if you're gonna wear them nasty ass socks, please don't come over because I can't stand the fucking smell.
See, I think maybe I think sometimes like these superstitious rituals might work better sometimes for like players of sports than they necessarily do on when they're going to do with fans. I think there is an element. A lot of athletes do have a certain superstition, whether it be a religious thing or just a certain little ritual or something they do.
But all of that is still superstition.
It is still superstition, but I think more when it comes to an athlete, that little placebo, whatever that it probably can help with a performance. I do think it might.
No, I don't think it does. I think the reason I don't think it does, it might help then, but overall, I think it's detrimental.
I think overall, but I'm just saying for that immediate scenario that where they're going out and playing football for a couple of hours, whatever it might be.
I think a good pep talk could probably be better.
Well, I have some
it's all mental.
admittance to give.
Yeah.
I actually have a superstition when it comes to smoking weed with colored lighters. I don't smoke with white or yellow lighters, and that's my only superstition that I have. Like, and
Why'd
the
you
reason
have?
I
No, I don't
that,
want to know.
Okay, so like the color yellow has been bad luck for me my entire life.
No, it
I've gone
hasn't.
to the
Your avatar has yellow in it.
Right, and
And why-
it's
and
one of
why-
the reasons why I ended
I was
my
just
channel.
about to say that, Jen.
You ended your channel because it had yellow in it.
But so the color yellow on a lighter has always been bad luck for me because I shit you not, every time I have had a yellow lighter, I've either gone to the hospital or I've damn near almost died. Like the 3 times I've been hit by a car, I had a yellow lighter in my pocket.
You see, that would make me keep a yellow lighter on me all the time because fuck you.
But, I mean, the point is, well, there are so many coincidences in our life, but it's the ones that stick out are the ones that we remember. So you'll remember something like that, but you've probably had other coincidences that have been even bigger, but they weren't major events in your life, so they don't stick out. And then you've had other times where things have happened and there's been no coincidences at all. It's just been a random thing. And those random things happen way more often, but they're not as fucking interesting as big-ass
I
coincidences.
don't understand how people can watch the superstitious pigeon experiments and not walk away from it completely changed about
What the
superstitions.
hell is a superstitious
What the
pigeon?
fuck are you talking about?
How
Yeah,
have
what
you
the
not
fuck
seen
is
these
that?
videos and the studies? You can make a pigeon superstitious, that it's got to do something to get something.
What?
Even though it has absolutely no effect. Right, and this is it. This is what our lowest level brain is. This is where religion all fucking comes from. This tiny little thing that you can associate a cause and effect that aren't connected.
Well, I
And
mean,
you
I've
just
heard
got
of,
to
like
wait.
ravens being a bad omen or shit, but I ain't never heard of a pigeon being a fucking superstition.
No, the point is it's called superstitious pigeon experiments because they demonstrate that you can teach the pigeon superstition.
But they've done it with people too.
Yeah,
There's an isolation test that they've done in the US. What's the guy's name? Vsauce, the guy from Vsauce. His other channel, Mind
Vsauce
something that he does. Sorry?
Is it Vsauce 2?
No. He did a paid show on YouTube called Mind Something. I can't
Mind
remember what it
something,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember what the show was called, but it was available free last Christmas for everyone to catch him up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
shit bug me now.
Mindscape or something like that, is it, Amanda? It's something like that.
Yeah, might be.
Minefield!
Yeah, it's something like that anyway.
Minefield.
They did an
That's what it
experiment.
is.
Minefield, thank you. Yes, it was. They did an experiment in that where he had to spend, a day and a half in a box, basically, which he wasn't allowed to leave or anything.
Oh,
And they did
that was
stupid
crazy.
tests on him whilst he was in there, and they followed this up with the other tests where they had things that people had to do to get money, win money in this fake competition, and people would do all sorts of weird things, and that would cause money to come out, and none of those things were what was happening.
It was totally
They got
random,
into
wasn't it?
rituals.
Yeah.
It was completely random, and they were
got
convinced,
convinced.
completely caught up in the ritual, and he did too when he was in his isolation. And it's like, yeah, if you're in that situation, the ritual will overtake you. We are very ritualistic. We look for patterns because our brains are so good at looking for patterns. We will find patterns where they aren't.
Yes.
Which I think, ironically, I think is also what a lot of conspiracy theorists do.
Unless you're me, then my brain is
definitely.
like, fuck a pattern.
That's exactly what they do.
When it
I
comes
mean, it's
to
where
stuff
pareidolia comes from.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amanda.
No, it's okay. When it comes to stuff like what Quentin was talking about, I mean, just study statistics in any way, and superstition and things like that will kind of melt away. If you understand how numbers work in terms of statistics, it becomes,
It vanishes.
It does.
Right. I mean, I don't like. The thing was, this was whenever I was growing up. Like, I don't believe now that if I smoke with a yellow lighter, I'm gonna die. This was just like me growing up. Like when I was 15, I was smoking, and I was just like, oh, I can't smoke with a yellow lighter because I remember getting hit by a car.
It's
And my
green
friends
lighters
and I-
now. It's green.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually.
I've been told.
Any neon
Bob.
color lighter, I can't.
Bob told me it's green.
Now, after all that, I actually remember my question from before, and it goes back to the socks. Did he have to use a chisel at the end of the season to get them off?
Oh my god, dude. His wife. Okay, so last year, his wife found those fucking socks, and she goes, "Look, I don't care that you watch football. If you ever do this shit again, I am divorcing you." And like, dude, because literally, if he came into your house, the whole fucking room smelled like rotten feet.
Why did no one steal them and set
goddamn
fire to
disgusting. Like, these fucking socks had mold on them, dude.
Ew.
Bad.
Mold on them. Doesn't make any sense.
Out of interest, what team did he support?
The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, definitely not working. Definitely not fucking working.
Like, and
He was
I
trying to
tried
smell like
explain
something
to him,
brown.
right? Like, I told him, look, man, I appreciate the spirit that you want the Browns to win, but like, wearing crusty ass fucking socks is not gonna do it.
If he said something like the Patriots, you could always make a case that okay, it seems to be somewhat working, but with the fucking Cleveland Browns.
Right, okay.
It could have been worse. It could have been his underwear.
Oh god, dude. Oh.
It probably was. He probably just didn't admit that.
If he was wearing- oh, that's fucking minging, man.
Right. So, quick 2-word answers. Are we moving away from religion
never
or to
quit.
more wishy-washy?
Can I have a 2-word answer? Moving on.
No. I want consensus from the panel
On what?
as to whether or not we're moving away from religion or towards wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy at the moment, but that's heading towards away.
The numbers, the statistics say that society is becoming more secular, but from what I've noticed, it seems to be going more wishy-washy. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's because a lot of wishy-washy is considered secular.
Yeah.
So.
You people are not very good at 2-word answers.
You can't answer this with 2 words. It's impossible.
What?
Complex question.
No. Are we moving away from religion or wishy-washy? it's one or the other.
Unless your answer is wishy-washy, then you can't have a 2-word answer.
It's not really a one or the other because it's in either case you're moving. It is both. People are moving away from more structured religion, but into maybe this sort of like more spiritual, whatever that's supposed to mean, sort of thing.
Just another word that no one knows.
Blue man.
So you're moving away from when people answer that with are you religious? Do you
I'm
believe in
spiritual.
God? I'm spiritual. Oh, I'm punch you in the faceable.
Beth.
Okay.
I'm not religious. I'm just an asshole.
Yeah. It works much better.
I'm starting to think Amanda.
Interchangeable.
I'm starting to think Amanda might be a Sagittarius, actually, but the way I look at it, is I've actually eliminated 3 possibilities so far. There's only 9 more. We will get it right before the end of the stream.
I reckon she's a Virgo.
See, I don't even like.
To be fair, Amanda has not actually confirmed or denied any of them, so we.
No, she hasn't.
Mathpig already said what I was anyway.
No one pays attention to what Mathpig says. So.
Being in the generation where like
on him.
everyone focuses on this shit, I still don't fucking know what I am. Like I don't care either. Like people have told me, oh, I'm this or I'm that, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this means. So okay.
I think she's a Pisces.
That's because you just read the chat.
I did not.
You did.
It came to my mind.
Now we know.
I channeled.
I'm pretty sure you know when my birthday is, Dave, because you celebrated with me on my birthday. So.
Did I?
Yeah, I was remembering that Amanda had already had a birthday, so I was trying to figure out what it was.
Must have been good.
No.
I have fond memories.
Dave.
I think we're kind of drunk.
Dave.
Amanda,
Answer.
answer what?
Oh my fucking
God.
god! You do this shit on purpose.
Dave, either answer the question or say which star sign you are. One of the two.
I am a glowworm.
I'm stealing that.
What?
I'm stealing that.
Why? No, but you've got to give the right response back.
I'm a trash bag.
No, the right response from someone that actually fucking believes is usually you've just made that up To which you respond, they're all fucking made up!
Yes, there you go.
I mean, honestly,
if it helps
man,
you guys,
go ahead.
if it helps you guys think about astrology as less than what you already do, astrology is also in the Bible. So there you go.
Yes.
I mean, I can make this point really clear very easily in the sense that literally religion is so fucking easy to make that my buddy made a religion based on me. And the reason this is because my nickname is Ginger Jesus. So he literally wrote a 1,300-page Bible called the Ginger Jesus Bible.
Jesus Christ.
That's a hobby, I guess.
That's a heretical book because we all worship Jesus.
Yes.
It's spelled
There is
with a
only
G
one true
instead of a
Jesus.
J. It's spelled Jesus.
Praise be to Jesus.
Praise be to Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Right, I think it's going wishy-washy, and I think it's probably going to backlash into organised religion.
You think there's going to become a wishy-washy organized religion?
No, I think it's going. I think by going into wishy-washy, I think we will like in the States, we will reach a crisis point, and it will push people towards organised religion.
There is a wishy-washy organised religion in England. It's called the Church of England.
I have stories about that, but I can't repeat.
Oh my god.
I think what was it? Yes, Minister said the ideal candidate to be Archbishop of Canterbury is a mix between a socialist and a socialite.
Yes. What about believing in God? What the hell?
Yeah. What's that got to do with anything?
He's not, but he doesn't actually believe in God. But he's not against him.
Yes.
Against the concept of every God.
Right.
Blackadder. Didn't Blackadder do that joke as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Right. Moving on.
Moving on.
Frank?
Moving on.
Question 703.
See if I can avoid another question.
You answered that one. And I know which one I missed.
I
on now. 2 questions.
It's only the first one I avoided.
I know. We can go back if you want.
Don't care.
Question 703. If Snow White had an extra 4 dwarfs, what would you like the others to be named?
Oh god, no.
Oh God and no. That's 3.
Okay. So, I've actually had this conversation with friends of mine, and it went terribly wrong.
Why?
Because my friends are assholes, and they're very, I don't know the word for it. I guess they, decide destroying Disney films is the best thing to do in pastime. So
Quentin, meet my lovely arseholes.
Is this? Did you guys rope me into Assholes Anonymous? Like, I just told this is a thing. I'm not gonna have to end the show saying I'm Quentin and I'm an asshole or something.
What the hell happened then? I think his phone died.
He said that and he
He
lost.
disconnected. What the? Well, your timing there was perfect.
That's how he ended saying I'm an asshole. Oh, never mind, he's back.
Sorry, I guess I pushed the wrong button.
Yes.
How about easy, queasy, cheesy, and sleazy?
I like the way you're going. I mean, Aunt Jer's gone with horny and itchy. Natty's gone stinky, horny, druggy, and Pete.
The last one, Pete.
Humpy, horny, and fingers.
Say that again?
Humpy, horny, and fingers.
Fingers who?
There's 4.
Damn it, Jen.
How about Harambe, Pepe, fucking, and any other meme I can think of. I can't really think of any other name. Shit.
Aunt Jer says
I
smelly.
had one job.
You had one job. Seraphim says flatty, apologetti, MAGA, and waffles. Doc says pissy, shitty, belchy, and sweaty. Wes says slutty has to be one.
Ooh, slutty, I like that.
Jones says. Jones says Dave, Jeff, Robbie, and Steve.
Oh, it was 4. I thought it was 3 extra dwarves.
Who said that?
Joan.
The
And
dwarf
Spooky says-
cannot be named.
Spooky says Dave, Jeff, Quentin, and Math Pig.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
Jeff.
shots fired at me. I am not that short, damn it.
Flirty, Skanky, fuck, I had it. Twatty, and shit, last one.
And
Come
Dick.
back to it.
Trumpy, Pensy.
No one gets him.
And Dick.
Okay, there you go. That
Last
works.
one.
I mean,
I thought the
if
last
you-
one was Mandy.
Oh!
Teddy bear and Trumpy bear. And...
Aunt Jer says overly friendly. And everyone else says spooky. Apparently Pete is the only
Overly
normal one
friendly.
out of all of them. He hates them all and is like, you guys are like so lame. That's Pete.
Ouch.
Okay.
Beth!
Pete's the emo one. Alright, just remember that. Pete's the emo and hates everyone.
Twinkie!
Twinkie.
That's it. Twinkie.
You want your own Twinkie.
Now all I can think is Twiggy the dwarf.
I'm going with
Twiggy or Twinkie.
Handsy. I'm going with Handsy, Touchy, Jerky, and Snowflake.
Mm.
Wouldn't you have to have Feely in amongst that as well then?
Well,
Huh?
that could be your 4th one, Jen.
Handsy and Feelsy.
There you go.
Dave?
If one of them was an Aussie, it'd have to be called Bruce.
Bruce.
And was he the professor of philosophy at the University of Woolloomooloo?
Yeah, he was. And he would insist on all the other dwarves being called Bruce as well because it makes it less complicated.
Yeah, this is it's Bruce. He teaches Aristotelian philosophy. I'm Bruce. I teach Hegelian philosophy, and Bruce here is in charge of the sheep deck.
So that's kind of like, hi, I'm Daryl, and this is my brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl.
Yeah, hi, I'm Daryl. This and yeah.
Yeah.
This is my
Don't
brother.
forget my friend Daryl.
My brother Daryl.
B gets the reference.
Music click that says Dave, Mel, Bounce, Dildo. Santi says crippled, Badgie, Jenny, Piggy. Wes says that Twinkie is Math Pig's nickname. Gary
no.
says Donald, Eric, and Ivanka. Why the 2 Donalds?
Senior and junior.
Because they want to
Spooky
build a
sa-
wall.
Yeah.
Spooky says Joan, Mama, Dave, Sarah, Doc, Math Pig.
That was more than 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was actually saying hello.
Anyway.
Well, maybe they want. Maybe we know they want a substitute for the full team.
Yeah. Name the rest.
As long as
said
one of
that-
them is named Chad and the other one's Karen.
So you said 4. You said 4 extra dwarfs. You said 4 extra dwarfs, doesn't there? So that makes a football team. So we need a couple of substitutes. That's why, Dave.
Well, wouldn't we have Tinky, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe?
Oh, I like that.
Hey man,
Math Pig
don't
says.
besmirch the fucking Teletubbies now.
Math Pig says Manda calls me horse. I'm assuming that's because of how bad his farts smell.
That's my ginger brother in over there, man. I gotta
Weird
stand up
fucking
for Math Pig over
horses,
there.
Have you found a ginger hair on his head?
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of ginger beards in there. I've seen a beard or two.
That's not his head.
No. Technically, the face is part of the head. So
Yes, but we were talking about the hair on the head.
To mention, calling people the G word is racist.
It's
Only if you're not
But
ginger.
I'm a ginger.
Yeah, only if you're not. Dave, you're not
Look,
ginger.
it's only
Yeah.
racist.
I've got a touch of
It's
ginger in the
only racist
minge.
if you're not ginger.
You have to understand British culture. prejudice against gingers is the only socially acceptable form of racism left in Britain.
And the Welsh.
I'm pretty sure that's all over the world,
and
though.
Isn't there
no,
something
not
about the British that they have to? The British have to have somebody they can pick on to feel righteous and justified.
Pretty much.
Well,
Everyone fucking hates
got
us.
the Americans for that. or
Yeah, so why don't they do
Hold on,
that instead of pick on minorities? Come on.
Correction. We did have the Americans for that, and then we elected Boris. So we got that was our last bit of feeling superior.
You should see what he said in Prime Minister's questions today about Trump.
Oh, I saw it's trending. I didn't watch it. So he said something stupid, has he?
Seraphim says gingers are sexy. Jesus says that gingers are an abomination.
See,
Jesus has spoken.
look, man.
Jesus.
As the spokesman for all ginger kind, since I'm the only ginger here, not all of us are an abomination. I think it's just the male ginger that is very, very abominable.
Math Pig, you don't get to say you're biased.
It's...
Right, we'll get back to the question here a second. Gary says
Hey,
pestilence.
who needs to fucking answer, Dave?
I'm reading the chat. Gary says
have
pestilence,
no souls, which is nice.
war, famine, and death. Of course they've got no fucking souls. Everyone knows gingers have got no souls.
Nobody has a soul. Fuck
Exactly.
Yeah, no one has a soul.
Music Collector says boobs, boob, cleavage, and tits. I don't think that's very good names. Oh my god, now they're fighting over whether gingers are hot. The chat's erupted into mayhem.
See, this is what happens when you trust gingers. You turn your shit into chaos.
Oh. Moving on!
Is it better for the environment if your shit gets turned to chaos?
To be honest,
It actually is.
What?
See, the thing is, when everybody was buying up toilet paper, the redheads were buying up all the sunscreen because we know how to prioritize.
Dave.
Amanda!
I swear to fucking Christ, if you
it's Manta actually
fuck
answered
me
it.
again, I am going to go over there and shove that ball so fucking far up your ass.
I would be
If
impressed
you
to
keep
see
acting like that, you won't have to shove it up there, Amanda. It'll go up on its own.
Dave might like that.
Fucking
All right, my answer is Chico, Harpo, Groucho, and Zeppo.
Oh.
And that was in no way Gary's answer. I don't have a good answer. Right,
Kinda
next
like the
question.
Yeah,
Don't
so let's
like the
go to the
question.
next.
We're going to go to the next
Yeah.
question.
Moving on.
Question 704. What is the most times you have had sex within a 24-hour period? And how about with
Does that
someone
count
else?
With yourself?
I was going to say, and how about
Wait,
with
wait,
someone
wait,
else?
And how about with somebody else?
Probably twice. Yeah.
I'm asexual, so I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Well, you can. 0 is a number.
Well, I mean, before realizing I was asexual, I think once, because once is enough for me, and then I'm fat, so I'm just gonna push you off and go get some bacon.
I'm gonna say twice.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Twice, and I didn't enjoy it either time.
That's terrible.
I can give you a time frame, but I'm not sure I can tell you how many times we actually had sex during that time frame.
Approximately.
Time
Just
frame.
you give an approximate, round it off to the
I don't
nearest
wanna
10
say.
or whatever. I don't know.
1.5.
At least 8. No, at least 8. I say. Yeah, at least 8 times.
Fucking hell, that's a trooper number.
Beth?
It was over a day and a half, though.
That's more than a day. You don't math right, Jen.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't go to sleep. So
You said it was a 24-hour period, though.
Yep.
24 hours.
Well, it was more. Well, all right, let's call it 6 then, because there were probably 6 times in the first 24 hours.
Fine, 6. Seraphim
Sorry,
says
Beth,
6.
go ahead.
So thank you. So I was trying to think back to when I was with my ex and I was a truck driver because I was out for a month and then home for 7 days and out for a month, and we would spend like 4 days in bed, like just get out to shower, eat, and pee, basically.
Mhm.
God, I don't really know I don't know if I have a number for it. It was just kept rolling over into each other.
I think there
That's
should
the
be like a
problem.
fucking counter on your bed.
I don't
on
know.
your fucking
Counter on the bed. Ding!
It's like,
8 to 10, maybe. Yeah, I need a counter on the bed. Yeah. Okay, number.
I
Go
remember
again.
we actually had
Okay,
to change
go
the sheets in the middle.
Now, do you drink Gatorade
No,
during
honey.
like the breaks?
We had a
Like that way
Yes.
you stay hydrated?
Well, Lucasade.
Oh yeah, the second house. We weren't that organised to start off with.
Switch out the towels.
Yeah, fresh
Oh,
rolled
that's
towels
fine.
and some Gatorade. That way you can keep going at it. Be dehydrated.
We can keep going. It's good fun.
Yeah, I used to tell her all I need is a pack of crackers and some water and be near a bathroom for random. I'm good for
Jesus
days.
Christ. Now, if it's wanking, I think I got everyone beat. But sex, on the other hand, I don't know
I'm
about
sure.
that.
Sure you do.
Wes says
never
about
had a guy in
30
chat,
times. Wes says about 30 times, I think.
All right, 30
Math
times
pig.
in 24 hours. I don't know about that one, man. That's like fucking turning your junk into a hamburger at that point.
Mathpig says I lost count. Jones says times or how long it took. Times. So they could be really crap times and get loads, like 30. Seraphim says myself was 12. Gary says 8 and then 12. Natty says okay, fine, 3. Jones says once but very long. Natty says but lots of intoxicants were involved. He wanted to keep going and I was like, fuck is wrong with you, says Natty. Mathpig says Orgasmatron is too long and I can't spell it. Okay.
All right, Dave, it's your turn to answer the question.
We haven't finished with Manda!
She was trying to get avoided.
Awkward.
Didn't Amanda already answer?
No.
No, I didn't. I asked Math Pig, but 5. I think, yeah, 5.
Right,
Jesus,
next question.
I'm the sad. Dave, you
Dave.
gotta answer this one.
Yeah.
I saw that little sleight of hand.
I don't know
no,
what
go
you're
on
talking
here.
about. I never do a sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
I have absolutely no idea.
Should we ask Cass?
It was not with Kaz.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Should we ask Kaz how many times?
No.
No.
Where you going?
I've done days of. See, that's just right. I was trying to work it out. Of sex, get up, snack, sex, sleep.
See, the
Sex.
introvert side of me is
Sleep.
just like, this is fucking appalling. Like, I don't think I want to have days of just like one person sticking with me for like the fucking full 24 hours. So I'm just like, all right, we did our thing. You can go home now. Bye. I want to be alone.
I was young. I had lots of energy.
I'm only 22 and I have the lack of energy.
Oh, I had a lot of energy.
Are you? I mean, in all honesty, if you're with the right person, it's very easy to have that energy
Yeah.
pick up and. Yeah,
If I had to guess,
really
okay,
is.
if I had to guess, I would say probably at least 12 times. But then going on to the
in
next
24
day,
hours.
yeah, probably more.
yeah.
Wow. 24 hours, not 12.
And that's okay, and that's not including the various times that we've basically gone out and spent 5 or 10 minutes having sex in random places all over the place, and that would be fucking off the charts.
So I think
Because that's not sex to completion. That's just trying to have fun outside. If that makes sense.
so. I think I got the lowest
Yeah,
number.
that-
Here. I think I
I
got
had
the lowest
one.
number on the panel.
No,
then,
I had
haven't
the
I?
lowest.
No, he had the lowest
I had only
number.
one.
Yeah. Well, my score might have been a little higher, but football was on the telly, sir.
See,
Maybe the fact that I didn't like football was the issue.
Yeah.
to be
like-
fair, the sexual
I-
encounter that I had a lot of work in it. So, like, you know, once you get all of that work done, you kind of just only want to go once and then just call it a fucking
Yeah.
night.
To
Wow,
be
you
hon-
guys had a fun.
Valid, I guess.
I'd argue Southampton winning a match was probably more of a pleasurable experience.
No, not a chance in hell.
Well,
Mandus-
it doesn't happen that often, Dave. So
Right. Math Pig says, "Is Dave describing Manda's holiday to Ireland?" Seraphim says, "I need to move. The men here can't handle multiple times a day." Music Collector says, "Dave is making it up. Try me." Music Collector says 3.
And Dave
now
is
there are-
so not making that shit up.
Joan says, "I couldn't fit 12 in 24 hours, not even without eating and sleeping."
I mean,
Right.
to those that can fit 12 in a day, you got my fucking respect. My hat's off to you. Fucking hell.
And like I said, and I'm fairly certain that's a lower estimate.
And that, like, especially if like ropes are involved, like if you get 12 and you have like rope shit involved, fucking hell, you're just a trooper, man. Like that needs to become your profession. You need to start charging by the half hour rate.
Disturbingly, there were some ropes involved.
moving on.
All right.
You know, if it's a whole bunch of times, that just means each time is shorter and it's shit. So, you know, you don't want the number to be too big.
No, definitely not.
I mean, if you're
draw.
a rabbit, then I guess it's different, but the rabbits are
Well,
fun.
especially if you're having, especially if you're having sex with men, Amanda. Definitely need
Yeah.
to give some time so it's worth it the next time, right?
Mm.
Exactly.
And it depends on what you call sex. Do you like if Dave's only counting intercourse, then it really changes the number around, doesn't it? So
Oh yeah, this is the thing. This is where it's what it is. At the end of the day, the question is not in any way meaningful, or the answer is not in any way meaningful.
No.
Oh,
That's why I said it's more realistic to give you a time frame for how long you did it for than it is to give you a number of times.
See, I don't know how somebody could fucking like. If I'm fucking, I'm not worried about the time frame. I'm just worried about like, am I enjoying this? And if the answer is no, then why the fuck am I here?
Yeah.
Well, no,
No,
you've
entirely.
got a reasonable idea of what time you started the session, and you've got an idea of what time you passed out. So, that's all.
I meant no. Sorry, guys. I just read something, but I think I'll mention it off stream.
Fair enough. Right.
Not really related. I was just on Twitter and read something.
Moving on then. Next question.
God damn it. Moment
Yeah,
yeah, talking, Dave.
Back to some firm, relevant questions. Right. Question 705. Can we ethically
moment.
use? What?
Nothing. Go.
Shh. Question 705. Can we ethically use scientific advancements based on unethical investigation?
Oh.
Depends on
I mean,
situation.
I guess it's one of those things like, even if it's done unethically, like I mean, you know, if you know, like for example, if it's like, you know, medical experiments that are carried out on like prisoners or something like that,
Yeah.
which is totally unethical. But there is a breakthrough used. Do we just throw out the science?
Well, this is the problem.
Because it was obtained by really unethical means.
Yeah.
And I'd be disgusted by the means that it is obtained, but if the science is valid, I'd be inclined not to throw it out.
The problem is I don't know how you can throw it out. Is the issue.
I really think it would depend on the situation. Like, if you're experimenting on kids to benefit the world, then I would go with no. But like, if it's like somebody that just went around murdering people, then yes and no, because like they're already a piece of shit for just murdering random people, but like they aren't human. Unless you're a ginger, then you're not human.
I would personally go with shut that shit down. Like if you were doing an unethical experiment, shut that shit down. But I'm not for burning the studies themselves. I don't see any problem with somebody looking over them and seeing if there's anything that useful that can come of the horror that happens.
Yeah, but
is that not encouraging other people?
No, because you make sure there's a decent fucking punishment for the people who've done the wrong thing.
Yeah. It's like, it's like obviously probably the most infamous example from history is some of the experiments the Nazis did on people in concentration camps, whatever. Yeah. Now, at least some of, and I'm going to preface this, some of the discoveries they made may have been medically valid. A hell of a lot of it was completely junk, fucking eugenics rubbish. A lot of it was, but it was arguable that one or two things came out of it that were useful. That doesn't mean that is no justification for what they did. However, if the data is valid, do we just junk that because it was obtained by the most unethical of means? And I'm inclined to say no. I just think we can keep the data, but we when we go forward with research, we've got to do it by ethical means. Would be where
what I was going to say, Jeff. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Was
where I kind of.
Let's go to the chat.
And obviously a lot of the people that did those crimes in that particular instance were put on trial or whatever after the war for shit they did, and executed or put in prison, whatever it was.
The fact of the matter is, it already exists. There's plenty of science out there that was gained through unethical means, and you're talking about in this hypothetical anyway. It's already happened. Why throw out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak? Well, obviously, you don't want to go about things unethically, but
there are still things. Do you see the link that Cass put in?
Sorry, I was going to say there's another historical example I can think of, and I was just thinking about this now. Obviously, Amanda and we both know Chris Shelton, former Scientologist. Now we know how Scientology feels about psychiatry as a profession, and now there is a certain point, if you do look at some of the history of psychiatry, there was a lot of data and stuff in that was obtained by some seriously unethical shit in the history of psychiatry, which is about the one thing Scientology might actually have a fucking point about. However, they come to a certain point where that data was useful or whatever, and they were able to proceed in a far more ethical kind of manner. Do we throw that out because a lot of the original material was?
The problem is you're justifying another doctor saying that the ends justify the means.
Am I by doing that though? Really?
I think if you say that research is going to be kept, then another person that thinks they are above other people.
Are we? This is tricky. This is a very tricky thing, but it's kind of do we junk something that is scientifically valid at any point whatsoever?
Well, this is the problem you've got. It's not going to not be scientifically valid, and that's the problem. Yeah. If you have an answer to a question, it's an answer to a question.
Yeah.
It's one of those questions as to can you ignore it? if it's there.
I don't think you can ignore the way. You can never ignore the means it was obtained by, and I absolutely think I think the general consensus that the people who obtained it by those kind of means need to be held to account. And there's no, but at the same time, do we just throw that out and maybe set ourselves back a number of years?
Well, I mean, I think that would determine, so if this is the only way that people are going to get this data is by doing it unethically, or if there's people who are doing this ethically and getting the same results, then I think you can throw it out. I mean, it's more... see, this is it's like asking, is stealing wrong if you're doing it for the right reasons, in my opinion. There's going to be people that say there's no right reason to steal, or there's going to be people on the other side of the fence if you're stealing to provide for your family, then that's the right answer. You can't really... I think this is kind of like a...
You can argue it's on a case-by-case sort of situational basis, I suppose, you can argue.
Right.
Apart from the fact that when...
the conversation got...
It goes backwards and forwards.
Someone else want to weigh in on this, because I feel
just let me catch up on the chat.
Like
Let me catch up on the chat. Nevermore Tavern says yes. Gary says, this is a toughie, as I want to say no. Natty says no. Gary says, but I know we have made advancements on the back of unethical acts. Jones says, not if we have the chance to stop the investigation now. Mathpig says, they covered this in Star Trek Voyager.
I mean, the best idea I could think of is, the atomic bomb. Was it ethical?
Yes.
Some people might disagree with the yes.
But the research is the point is that there is nothing unethical about the research for the atomic bomb.
Fair.
Apart from maybe some of the experimentation of the fucking bombs where they blew them up near people. Right. But there was nothing, and even then they didn't really necessarily know. Okay, specifically we're talking about.
We have to, and obviously, if you think on the back of that as well, that nuclear power is like a byproduct of weapons-grade plutonium, ultimately.
Yes.
So.
Well, then I guess you have to throw. Because Dave, you kind of hit my next point. I think, could the question be answered? Do they know that they're doing it? Do they know?
Within the context of what we're talking, well, this is the problem. A lot of the stuff I've read about. I've not read anything of people doing it that recently, but going back pre-1950s. Okay, doctors that were doing things that were unethical on people tended to consider themselves working towards a greater good or being better.
A pioneer.
Yeah. It's not that they didn't necessarily think it was wrong; they just think it was justified.
Well, they didn't actually realise the negative effects to what they did.
Well, true. Another big example historically, if you go back to the Victorian era, or from say most of the 19th, from the late 18th to most of the 19th century, you people who were the people who literally robbed fresh graves to sell cadavers to medical students, or whatever, to do dissections on. At the same time, you can argue the ethics of whether that was done, and obviously the most famous case was probably the case of Burke and Hare, who literally went the next step and actually started murdering people.
It's easier, and they're fresh.
Yeah, which actually started. They actually did. They actually started
basic capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, they kill people, sell the bodies to, the medical profession, because the whole idea of, dissecting bodies was kind of seen as a bit of it wasn't even in that wasn't really socially acceptable. But that whole practice led doctors to understand a lot more about the human anatomy, and there was huge advances in medicine that were made off of the back of that. Was it ethical? I don't think it necessarily was, but
let me catch up on the chat.
Experiments done in psychology, like the Milgram shock experiment, where where the test was you were ordered by somebody to shock this other person if they respond, depending on how a response was done, and you were told by the examiner to turn the shock levels up or down, and people were hearing somebody scream from behind the wall, but they couldn't actually see them, so it was all acted, but they didn't know it. No. And people were following the orders of the people. It was a thing about people an experiment about people following orders. It was done in the 1960s, and I mean, highly unethical now. The trauma that the people who actually did the experiment came out with was enormous, but they didn't know better back then. It's not necessarily a defense of it, but it's a thing that we know better now, but that's not a reason to throw out the results of the experiment.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
But the problem with that, you've got with that is that we now can't investigate that. We've now got a set of results that we can't confirm.
I mean, I'm just thinking of something like Natty. I just was reading in the chat that like the MK Ultra program, where and you know, which was obviously a hugely unethical shit that the CIA did. And I know that MK Ultra is a favourite thing of conspiracy theorists, but you can actually look, a lot of this shit did happen.
Oh yeah, there's some nutty things in there.
Yeah, and a lot of the experience of LSD or whatever, you know. Yeah. But is it arguable that maybe there were some things that came out of that may have been beneficial longer term? I don't know. I mean, you know, it's
probably not.
Probably not on the long term, but there may have been. I mean,
let me catch up on the chat quickly. Natty, this is kind of a grey area. Gary, I think the only cases would have to completely disconnect intent with utility. Natty, well, I mean, if it's a past bad thing and applying that knowledge in an ethical way, maybe. Once you have the knowledge, you can't unknow it. That's my key point. If we can, the USA has done that with Nazi Germany. I don't follow that.
So hold on, what's Gary saying?
Where are we up to? I'm still way behind, so I'm trying to catch up. Jones says unethical for who? We're talking about, well, society as a whole. And then Natty comes to the MK Ultra stuff, things like MK Ultra. Yeah. Various experiments. Skip over. We talked about that. The sanctions for people doing unethical experiments need to be harsh enough to deter copycats. I think you're right. I mean, it's one of those things where I do wonder whether or not you can write their name out of history. Completely and utterly. You turn around and say you will only remember the name of the victims.
I just heard something about like Nazi Germany or something, and then first name that springs to mind then would be someone like Werner von Braun. Clearly, you know, was a member of the Nazi Party. Certainly, if not directly involved, was certainly probably at least aware of some unethical shit that was going on around him.
But Braun knew because he used Jewish slave labor to build some of the rockets. So he knew.
He fucking knew. Yeah, the same guy. Is most directly responsible for getting man landed on the moon.
Yeah, but now, directly responsible for putting NASA in the position it was.
You know, there's your ultimate example there. And now, people, do we want to weigh up the benefit here? Some people will probably say, and I know even some people in this conversation, in this panel, would say that landing man on the moon is arguably, arguably the greatest accomplishment our species has ever made.
No, I disagree with that.
No, I disagree with that.
But you might. I know.
No, it's impressive and everything. But...
Yeah,
I know. It's
impressive,
but it's not the greatest. No.
Manda might beg to differ. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Manda on this, but I know. She might argue that's one of the most impressive, one of the greatest scientific achievements humanity has ever made. At the same time, we have to remember.
Jeff, shush. Manda, what did you say?
Sorry, Manda, go on.
I said in terms of complexity, yes, it is the greatest achievement. In terms of advancements for either ourselves or other species on the planet, what did it actually gain us? I mean, not to shit on my own company. I love NASA and everything, but
my point is, I'd say the shuttle was more of an achievement than the moon landing in terms of advancement.
Yeah, and get the entire science behind getting the shuttle into orbit, and
I'd say even the shuttle though, would that have been a thing without von Braun?
No,
NASA wouldn't have been a thing at that point without.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they would have eventually, but they would.
No, they would have eventually. I'm not saying they wouldn't. But my point.
An orbiter around my neck, by the way.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there were some great rocket pioneers in the US even before, but von Braun had moved to the next stage. But I mean, it was no better for Russia. I mean, Russia got in and picked up a whole heap of leftover V2s and took them back and pulled them apart and figured out how they worked. So both the US and the USSR were building off German technology.
Yes.
Well, I've said this.
But at some point, someone has to take the ethical responsibility. I need to get through the chat quickly so we can.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, Dave. I will just get this out there. I'm pretty sure I've said before though, when there's things like an arms race on, you will see the ethics book will get thrown out the window. And that's a sad reality.
Yes, completely and utterly. At the end of the day, this is one of those things. When you've got total war, which is what we had at that point in time, ethics are somewhat irrelevant. If you are at risk of absolute destruction, you do what is necessary. I mean, this is why, at the end of the day, this is why Germany kind of fucked itself. Because it wasn't doing what was necessary, it was doing all this other shit. Right, chat.
Next question.
I've got to catch up on the chat.
Dave,
Yeah.
What?
did any of us answer?
Did any of you answer this? Well,
Actually,
lots of
did
people in the
you
chat.
answer?
Basically, they're arguing at the moment in the chat that ethics is relative, which I completely agree. It's not going to be it's war. See, had meaningful intent. Lots of people had good intentions. Snapped. Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to skip over all that. Basically, you didn't. None of you gave a nice, consistent yes or no answer. Which would have been good.
There isn't a consistent yes or
There
No, I know there isn't.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jen. There is no yes or no. The bottom line is that even though it's unethical, we're not going to ignore that science. And it's already been done. It was people were already tortured, animals already tortured. Why throw that away anyways when we can use that to better our own selves and help people more? You're not going to toss out, like Amanda said, don't toss the baby out with the bathwater.
And I should point something else out. If you have that data to hand already, that data to hand. Now, if you just throw it out or whatever, you don't know necessarily going forward whether you can achieve that same thing without doing something unethical.
No.
So
but then you're you're literally saying the ends justify the means there.
I don't think I am.
No.
I don't think I am.
No, because we're not saying you should be able to do that.
No, but you're saying that the person that did there was no other way to get it.
No.
Dave, I said that as a hypothetical. Well, you don't know going forwards, do you? Whether that's
and I think you're making a straw man there, Dave.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, you are straw manning the fuck out of me there. Dave.
You are
of course I am.
I know. And I'll be fair. I know you're doing that just for the purposes of discussion. I get that, but
you know that's not what any of us are saying. We're all saying that yes, you should. That they should have followed.
No, but my point is to push the fact that you have to deal.
And we'll have this. No, we're not saying that. We're saying if somebody does do that, well, let's find out what we can find out from what they did. Maybe then engineer better experiments that are not unethical to confirm said results, and then move on from there. But still punish the person who was unethical in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we'll go with that. And Wes says the end does justify the means. He'll say it.
I'll hand it to you, Dave. That's a very good question.
I think it needed longer.
I think you could do an entire panel just on that without being a crazy question.
Yes, I think you're probably right. I think there's a few questions we've had like that we might come back and revisit in depth.
We've had some good questions.
Especially the Smurf one.
Especially the Smurf one.
The Smurf one is definitely
Tick mark
a
that
illogical
one, Dave,
question.
and we'll just do a whole stream about it. We'll have an epic stream on medical shit.
Right!
Well, real
Next
quick,
question.
Before we wrap
Moving
on,
on. Go on.
okay. I wanted
No,
to
go
throw in like, so as you guys were saying, like you don't want to get rid of the results just because they were unethically obtained, because then basically the sacrifices of the victim, whether it be human, animal, you're basically just saying, well, their sacrifice didn't mean shit. So I mean, we just want to get rid of all of this. We want to act like it didn't happen, and that, in my opinion, would just be as bad as letting the experiment go on. If you, just because something bad happened doesn't mean you should ignore it. You should just take precautionary steps to avoid this happening in the future.
All right, moving on.
Yes, I was going to say I'm not going to. Right, next question.
Don't, Dave, just stop.
I know.
Keep going.
Right, question 706. If you owned a racehorse, what would you call it?
If I owned a racehorse, what would I call it?
Yeah.
Short lap.
Short lap.
Mr. Ed.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Especially if my fat ass is racing it.
Normally you hire a very
Road
small
hard,
jockey.
wet.
There's an argument for calling it dog feed.
Dog food.
Alpha.
Prick stick.
Yep.
What the fuck? Natty says Mr. Ed.
I'm sorry, but seriously, Americans didn't react. Prick stick is glue, by the way.
Yeah.
Math Pig says hung like Math Pig.
I
Why would you want to insult the horse?
Actually, joking aside, Math Pig would be a good name for a racehorse.
Would it?
I think. Yeah, I think so.
Doc
You heard
says
some
Don.
of the other names.
Only
Wes
if you can
says
make
Math
it
Pig.
oink and count with its hoof.
I mean, oink. Santi says Sticky. Jones says Shika
Sticky.
Muhammad. It's a girl. Can someone say that name because I can't?
Sticky.
Shika Muhammad. Antjer says bet on me.
So, maximum loser.
Gary says 50 Shades of Hay.
God damn it.
Oh, Natty says Russian.
That was good, Gary. That's a good one.
Beth.
How about son of Sugar?
You're not Beth. She's Beth.
Yeah, your hair is not short enough, Jeff. And you're not a lesbian, so.
You
Anyway,
need to fucking grow your hair out.
what would I name the race?
Hey, Jeff,
I was
what
saying
about Jar Jar Binky?
What was that, Beth?
Cannon.
Cannon.
I'd name it
Cannon.
Cannon. Just to piss off Bad.
Manda.
I'm gonna say Math Pig or Horsey McHorseface.
Horsey McHorseface. That's a terrible name. What sort of country would come up with a name like that?
Blow me.
What?
Here, kitty kitty. That's what I'd name it.
Here, kitty kitty.
Blow me's the name for a racehorse.
Yeah.
That's a good name for a horse.
Dave, what would you name it?
Oh, I'll go with Red Rum. Nice and original.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll do all that. Yeah, I'll say Desert Orchid then.
Rosebud.
I would go with Son of Sugar just to make people start wondering where the line came from.
I have no idea where the line comes from.
You heard of the race to Sugar, haven't you?
No.
Oh god damn, Dave! I can't believe you haven't heard. This is the horse that was famously abducted and was never seen again. It won the Derby.
Oh,
Honestly,
and he went for
Google
horse food.
Google Sugar. This is like a famous news story in British history.
Nah, I don't really care.
And there was a
I'll name mine Tails and Mane.
according to the rumor, if rumor is to believe that the IRA actually abducted it, if rumors are to be believed, but
You could still call it hair and mane after it's gone.
I'll actually change my answer. I'm gonna call it Budweiser.
Budweiser. Why?
Because Budweiser is Clydesdale piss.
That's a good one.
Natty says Cheryl Crow. Aunt Jer says Fabio. Gary says Yaka Hika Mikadula.
What the fuck?
No fucking clue. I think he just wants to get me to say it.
I'm wondering if I'm the only stoner that's watching and be participating in this.
No.
No.
Rarely.
Fucking some of these.
Manda with a grin on her face.
Who else
Can we
is
call it
smoking the
Sarah
electric
Jessica
lettuce?
Parker?
I thought there was already a horse called Sarah Jessica Parker.
oh,
Michael Jackson before the nose job?
Oh!
Right.
Now we're just being insulted.
We are.
this is
Right.
This is Dave. This reminds me. Somewhere down here, I've got an old "Have I Got News for You" annual from like the mid 1990s, and the odd one out round. The questions were who's the odd one out? Red Rum, Desert Orchid, Princess Anne, and Camilla Parker Bowles. And I think Paul Merton instantly answered, well, Prince Charles has ridden all of them except... And stop there.
One of my favorite ones would be Matthew McConaughey.
Right, next question. Last question.
Okay.
Question 707. Would you rather have the legs of a frog or the head of a fly?
Fucking legs of a frog.
That's
Legs
a
of a
really
frog.
weird question to end this on.
He likes his
That's
weird
an easy question.
I would
You
go
wouldn't
with
like
the
to be able
head
to
of a
see like a fly. You wouldn't
Yeah,
like
I'd
to be
go
able to
with-
have that view and to be able to see that fast.
I mean, I would
No.
go with head of a fly mostly just because I could see everything, and I could fuck with my kids if I have them. Just be like, I see you.
If I have
You also
the...
have to vomit on your own food.
Yeah. He does that already.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
actually a secret that gingers do. We puke to digest our food.
It's got to be frog's legs, isn't it?
There you go.
No,
Natty says no. Natty says head of a
Well,
fly
they'd
because
have
they
to
have
say head of
panoramic
French.
eyesight.
Yeah, I was
What?
going to say that.
There's a French cuisine joke in there somewhere.
There is.
We just made
yeah.
it.
I think
I was gonna say, if you're ever in a sticky
Really?
situation, you can eat your own legs.
I've no doubt.
You could do that anyway, though.
I'd be worried if Amanda had frog's legs.
Why is that?
Oh, I hear pigs have got a thing for frogs.
Well, then it would be appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh man,
The question
you
is, if you
look,
go
if
frog
you-
legs
if
and
you
your
have
vibrator
frog
shorts
legs-
out, does your legs twitch?
Oh.
If it shorts out.
I mean, you
Probably,
could
It does now. Go on.
you could make a lot of money on my OnlyFans.com if you had legs of a frog.
Angela said, frog flies are ugly. Tony, if you had the head of a fly, you have to say, help me. Gary, this is too easy. Natty, yeah, because you actually do have eyes on the back of your head. Joan says, frog legs. Brainbug might disagree. Mathpig says, oink. Doc says, the legs of a frog would make me hoppy. Bounce.
Oh,
If I had frog's legs, I would dance around like the WB frog. What's the WB frog?
It's,
Warner Brother
that
frog?
one frog
TV
that has
channel
the hat and the cap. That, hello, my darling. Hello, my
yeah.
oh, is that what that is?
hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my
Darling,
ragdoll.
hello, my
Yeah, it's
ragdoll.
from the fucking Looney
Frog that
Tunes.
used to dance
Yeah.
with a top hat. So.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
does
yeah.
so no
yeah.
Beth.
Michigan J Frog he was called.
Oh, that's terrible.
Hmm.
Beth.
I really am too vain to have the head of a fly. So I'll go with frog
And
legs.
aside from that, you're already green.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't want to look like that.
I already looked that way, so that's why I picked it.
But I'm already ugly enough. I don't need the fucking head of a fly to make it any worse.
Anyway, frog's legs, you can hop. You go to the hop.
I also can do the frog chorus then. Go bomb,
Bum,
bomb,
bum,
bomb,
bum,
bomb, bomb, bomb.
But you don't have the throat
No.
of a frog.
You only have the legs.
God.
Wes says, I don't think I'd get a kiss either way.
Oh.
Do you have the feet of the frog as well? Also,
Yes.
do you end up with webbed feet so you can swim really well? Oh, that's
Yes.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have from the hip bone down.
That would be
So
pretty
you'd
cool
also have
because
the
I suck.
genitalia of a frog.
Quentin gets it. Right!
I knew this would spawn some jokes.
Oh. I throw something at it.
Oh,
Lost Quentin.
And on that pun, I've just pissed. Quentin's just quit.
Right, is he coming back, or she'll start saying bye?
Let
Manda.
Manda answer.
Man, what legs do you want?
Yeah, what legs? Exactly. I'd go with the frog legs. A, to get rid of the legs I have now anyway, and B, I was a gymnast, so I like the bouncy stuff, and also same as with Beth. I don't want to, I wouldn't want to have a head of, I wouldn't want that. So, Dave, did you answer?
Aside from that, if you end up with frog legs, you'd be an awesome Jedi.
Yeah, that's true too. There you go.
Ding, ding.
The secrets of the council won't let you know.
I don't know. I mean, I just have a closer look. Do Gungans kind of have like frog's legs or not? I don't know.
Nope, ignoring that. I'm thinking with Dave's penchant for bouncing, he would definitely pick frog's legs.
I don't have a preference for bouncing.
And he says while bouncing.
It's just while it's going boing, boing.
Yeah, but that's not a preference
Yeah.
for bouncing.
Yeah.
That's because I was told I had to sit on a fucking yoga ball.
I said penchant, not preference.
Weird.
You could sit
They
on
didn't say you had to bounce on one, Dave. Just sit on it.
It's very hard to. You tried sitting on a yoga ball and not bouncing.
It's
I
true,
have.
though.
Bouncing.
It's very hard to not bounce. I mean, it's very easy not to bounce like this, but that's just fun.
I have one actually in the corner of my room with my name today. I should have used it, but oh well, it's okay.
Right.
Well, we're going to have to get a stream where we all sit on yoga balls.
Yes.
I'd have to find mine first.
Oh God, please no. I don't think I could do
Find
that.
one first.
I'd end up fucking falling.
Dave's done
Dave
that.
does.
Dave has done that.
Shh. I'm going to say thank you very much to Jen, to Beth, to Jeff,
Oi.
to Amanda, and to Quentin. Is he frozen?
He is frozen. Moving on.
Damn it.
Frozen.
Moving on.
And just say thank you, absolutely, everyone in the chat. You have been a blast today. We will see you tomorrow, I think, at the normal time. And
Thanks, Dave.
have a good day and wish me luck. Daisy's having her stitches out in less than an hour.
Good luck, Daisy.
Oh, good luck with
Love you,
Daisy.
Dave.
Bye.
Good luck.
See you
Bye,
tomorrow.
guys. Peace
Bye.
out.